Apes and apettes, welcome back to the channel. It is about to get bloody over on Wall Street. Yes, it's about to get very bloody. Futures are down a lot right now. The Russian stock market is down over 15%. This is coming off of some news out of the 1 hour long speech that Vladimir Putin did just give. The sanctions are on. They are coming here within the next couple of hours. So stay tuned for that. It's going to get pretty bloody, but I do want to give you guys the overall scope of what is going on, how long this will last, and what to expect with AMC stock. So let's get into this. Hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel, make sure to comment down below, join the trading community if you want to be a part of that, link down below in the pinned comment, as well as go ahead, get yourself some free stock with Webull, Moomoo, and Public. Thank you guys for tuning in, and let's talk about this. So Russia just gave about a 1 hour long speech about those two regions in eastern Ukraine, and basically, long story short, blaming the West for the way Ukraine is today, saying they feel threatened, that there's Tomahawk missiles that could hit Moscow, all of these things which, quite frankly, don't make a lot of sense. But it's Russia, it's Putin, they drink vodka as water. So, you know, a little paranoid action here is kind of what I'm seeing, but nevertheless, this is the big thing. Came out 7 minutes ago. Putin signs decree recognizing separatist regions in eastern Ukraine. Russian President Vladimir Putin signed decrees recognizing the Donetsk People's Republic and Luhansk People's Republic Monday in a ceremony carried on state television. Earlier in the day, the heads of state proclaimed pro-Russian republics requested that the Kremlin leader recognize their independence and sovereignty. Members of Putin's Security Council supported the initiative in a meeting the same day. So let's go down here. And it says right here, EU Foreign Policy Chief urges Putin to not recognize the independence of separatist republics of Donbass. And what they're doing, and what Putin just did, is signed an order. So now they can work together. They are Russia's allies, like Belarus. So now Russia is going to move their troops into that region. And then he basically ended the whole speech off on saying, wherever the path goes ahead is up to Ukraine if they're going to stop firing on this separatist region, because now they are their own country, and if they do that, then basically Russia will take the rest of the country. So interesting there, but this says right here, Blinken has previously promised a swift and firm response if Russia recognizes Ukraine's breakaway regions, and they have distinctly said over the past month or two that if Russia does further invade Ukraine, sanctions are coming. And that's exactly what they are doing, is invading Ukraine, changing the borders of Ukraine. So sanctions, they are coming. Obviously announced as of right now, but you could see the Russian stock market right here, RTS, is down about 15.17% currently. It was down as much as 22%. So there's a lot of war talk, a lot of war games that are going on right now. You can see the US 500, so like the S&P 500, is down 1.26% in futures. Small cap 2000s down 1.5%, and US Tech 100, your NASDAQ basically, is down 1.9%. And these numbers are not moving around all too much, but I do expect them to get very, very bloody once the sanctions actually do start. And you can see that the S&P 500, the VIX, the volatility fear index, is up 3.91%. These are in futures, so they're going to look a lot different once we open trading for the day, probably down much worse. But you can also see oil is up about 3%. That is also going to go crazy once the sanctions actually do start. So that is not good. That is definitely further escalating the situation. And it looks like the invasion of full Ukraine could come shortly after right now if they keep fighting with each other, right? So not good. Markets, they're not going to like this. It's going to be pretty bloody, but the biggest point to note out is that this is going to cause a lot of fear in the short term, but it's not going to be a long-lasting fear catalyst. Historically, any conflict that America is not a part of is a very short-lived fear catalyst. Think about even 9/11. As bad as that was, the markets were down huge that day, and then they did recover shortly after that. So even something that does involve us, it doesn't hurt the markets for all too long. And I'm not trying to undermine 9/11 or this, just saying that as long as it's not World War III, the markets will not, go down and continue to stay down. You'll probably see a sharp reaction to the downside. You'll probably see the markets bounce back up and do this back and forth action until that Fed meeting March 16th. So that is what you guys need to know from that. As far as how this will affect AMC, I would imagine the markets are down 2 to 3% across the board tomorrow. With that being said, AMC to be down 1 to 3% is definitely not off the table. And that's probably what I expect to see. And let's take a look. If AMC fell, let's say 3%, that would put us down here probably to about that 1670 mark. And that's going to be about this level right here, the top tick of this wick. What was this, February 8th? So to see AMC fall down to maybe this level would make a lot of sense, and that's kind of what I'm thinking. So I kind of have to revise my price prediction here. I do think it might be a very bloody start to the week, and then you might rally at the end of the week, since these catalysts are very short-lived fear catalysts, maybe making our way back up to that 1850 mark. It is possible though to go back up to $21, where I do think it's possible to go, and that's what I indicated in the video earlier today. But the situation did develop a little bit more, and we have to be mindful of that. So I gotta decrease the price target a little bit. Still could be as high as $21 per share, but I do think probably in between this 1850 and 1675 mark is where I would expect to see AMC throughout the rest of this week. Possibly by the end of the week though, we could break above that 1850 mark again, just depending how capital does flow. And I guess we're just gonna have to wait and see exactly what the US response is. It looks like there's going to be sanctions. It looks like gold probably going to go crazy. It looks like oil is probably going to go crazy. Gold is up about $6-7 per ounce since the start of that. And once we do actually start trading on the American exchanges, it is going to go a whole hell of a lot higher than that. So that's that. And just for those of you guys that are tuning in right now, I know I've got a lot of questions about basically how the manipulation is done with AMC, and I am talking about the widespread manipulation, the thing that has pinned us at certain prices over and over again, that has made perfect technical breakout scenarios like this one right here, inverse head and shoulders, that never came to fruition because the price of the stock would get pinned down. It would get pinned to certain prices wherever the market makers wanted it to go. Now, because of the probe, they are not going to be pinning stocks. They're not going to be doing all that malicious shit that they have been doing over the past year because they are being probed. There's somebody actively looking at what they are doing every single day. You cannot manipulate the stock in the same way that you have in the past. Sure, you can have hedge funds and hedge funds cooperating together, but you're not going to see the guys that route our orders manipulating them in the same way that they have been. That's why even right here, when the numbers came out for AMC's earnings, best quarter in 2 years, free cash flow positive, all of that good stuff, the stock went right up and then it came right back down, and 2 days later you were under the level we were before that announcement came out. Now we've just been rallying. Now it's just been a pretty much a straight rally since then. We're up from $13 per share, went all the way up to $21 per share. In this day and age, with the fear levels that are in this market, you should expect to be $10 per share right now. So I think it's pretty clear what's going on here, as well as, like I say all the time, the option order flow sentiment has never been this bullish in a very long time. As long as I've been tracking this the last three months, roughly 6 months, in that range. So it looks like a lot of people were involved with this. Everybody knew this was going on. The hedge funds, institutions. Now that the probe started, they can't manipulate the stock anymore. You're actually seeing firms that are willing to buy options in AMC. And like we've went over many times, the $30 strikes, the $50 strikes, the $80 strikes, the $110 strikes, putting thousands and millions of dollars far out of the money on AMC, over 100%. to 500% gains. That's not something a firm would do unless they knew and had confidence in what they were doing. So that's my take on this whole situation. That's really what you guys need to know. Be on the lookout for sanctions that are coming here in the near-term future, and those are the regions that Russia is basically saying are their own territories now. So thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you guys for being here. If you guys found value out of this video, hit the like button for me, subscribe to the channel, as well as make sure to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on this situation. Is this going to lead to Russia just taking all of Ukraine, or do you think there's a diplomatic approach going forward? Thank you guys for tuning in. Check out the links down below in the description, as well as the link for the buy and sell alerts. I will see you guys in the next one.